Well, hello, everybody. Yes, you won't believe it. We are in the Bahamas. I couldn't believe it either. And yesterday we had a beautiful picture with the sea behind you and the
See,
beach. Oh my God, it was so beautiful. So we have, yes, we have with Dr. Karen St Cyr, and she has a doctorate in education and school improvement and a lot of experience in public school, public system, public private system as well, and many skills in many branches actually. So I'm so glad you had time for the interview. I'm so
yes.
glad. Welcome to the Quantum Marathon 3000, and it's all about education. Have a beautiful education, a new one, definitely for all the children, young people, and ourselves too. Would you like to present yourself and tell us your view on what would be a holistic approach, maybe, or holistic vision
Yes.
for
Okay.
education?
Well, hello,
Welcome.
world. Hello, everybody. It's quite a pleasure to join you. My name is Karen St Cyr. I live in the Bahamas. The Bahamas is a nation. It's an archipelago. We actually have 700 islands. And if you put Rock and Keys in that, that's over 2,000. But 28 of
Wow.
the islands are actually inhabited. We are a small country. We are just over 400,000. The main island, the capital is New Providence. And you would hear about the city of Nassau. We are small in population, but we entertain over 7 million tourists, actually. So tourists is our main industry every year.
Wow.
So we are sun, sand, and heart. We just love people. That's who we are. But when we talk about the vision of education, you know, research has underscored that we are now in the third decade of the 21st century. And this century, even previous to this, the research bled very loud, was very loud in emphasizing the need for development of intellectual capital of our youth and our citizens. And the whole premise of this is that only actually through the development of intellectual capital, of our human capital, that we can then effect change, efficient and effective and efficacious change in actually this political, social, and economic arena. And that's the only way our countries will advance. So when I say that, and all of us in whichever countries we are from, we have to understand that the question is, this has been tutored from before the beginning of the 21st century. In this third decade of the 21st century, how far are we in developing that intellectual capital of our persons? Because we do understand that the development of our human capital is paramount, because if we don't, we cannot then really address the challenges that we have with poverty, with low educational outcomes, with unemployment, with crime escalating, with the demand on social services. And you could look at the research, and this is what is actually said all over, and it's actually triangulated all over. So when we talk about the 21st century skills, I ask questions rather than, so for one question, to what extent is the intellectual capital of students and citizens being developed? These are not what I call rhetorical questions. They're for you to think and you'll answer yourself. Because each country has a different matrix to actually do that. You know, what priority is actually being placed on the interlinkages of education and the the national priorities for economic advancement. And, you know, how well is the school system, the education system, actually meeting the needs of students? We know about the 21st century skills, and we know about collaboration and teamwork, problem solving, inquiry-based, critical thinking, leadership. How well is your education system addressing these needs and ensuring that the children, the students under our purview as educators actually are learning and applying? We learn a lot, but how relevant is it to everyday life, and how are we applying? So that is very important. In Bill Daggett in 2015, he outlined 5 trends in education. That was 5 years ago, going on to 6. And he emphasized in his research that unless we were ready to actually be effective in these trends, we are fighting a losing battle. So I ask again, how much or how effective is our education system, are our education systems in these 5 trends? The impact of digital learning. COVID-19 has escalated the need for digital learning, the virtual school and the virtual platform. Are the students being educated with a heightened demand for career readiness? Are there pipelines in schools that lead from kindergarten right up to tertiary in relevant areas? Is there emphasis and application on application-based learning and the use of data analysis for decision-making? Some countries are very rich in data, but there's a dearth in analysis. So how then can you use, we have this, we need you know, empirical evidence, we need data-driven decision-making, but on the paradigm, with the paradigm that it is now, how well are we with the analysis? And then some of us, we're not even well with the data, collection of the data. You know, there's something that we can't get data for even basic things. And then the other one is, of course, personal and interpersonal skills, because the whole thing is that we have to ensure that the populace of our countries are better equipped actually to positively contribute to national development. And so education as it is delivered, unfortunately, to a large extent globally, it's still the very restrictive industrial model that was actually implemented in the early 1900s. And there was a need for it then, but the industrial model we need now is the model driven by innovation and technology. How well are we with now not just creating and implementing, but ensuring that it is driving what we do? So that is important. And
is this why you talk about having a renaissance in education and actually all the fields of the
so yes, the renaissance in education, when you talk about what model of education should we be driving now, and this is the model of innovation and that is being propelled by technology. The renaissance in education, what it actually would do is to look microscopically with laser precision as how education is actually offered. So they are the leaders, transformative leaders, are the facilities commensurate with flexibility and adaptability for changing times. The furniture, the facility, is the curriculum all connected and interrelated, or is it still in, excuse me, in dissected into parcels of content and parcels of information, and never the twain shall meet? How relevant is it in actually solving national community and national problems and giving each child a voice that they are nation builders? It's bigger than school. How is all of this related to your ability and your responsibility as a citizen of your country?
So this is another story.
Yes.
This is a big turn, definitely. We have a question. Practically, I know you use a STEAM or STEAM, according to if you want to put art or not.
Yes.
And what are the results? Why is it so nice to combine? And what does it mean, STEAM method?
Okay, with STEM.
Yeah, STEM,
yes,
sorry.
STEM is actually the science, technology, engineering, and math. You put A with that, and it's STEAM: science, technology, engineering, art, and mathematics. So what that is and I'm known for many things in my country and internationally, but I'm known for STEM. I always call STEM my baby, because I've been a proponent for this for years. I mean, you could date me. This has been a love of over 25, 30 years of mine. And why STEM? If you actually look at the countries around the world that have emerged as first world countries, and you know who you know these countries, if you look back at their development in education the last 50, 60, 70 years, some of them, but in the more recent times, last 50 years, you would see that they made a deliberate decision to develop STEM in their education system, in their actually national development. It has made the difference between whether a country is a country of consumers or a country of producers. And so the industrialized countries and the countries who have garnered the lion's share of development, especially in the economic arena, the priority has been on STEM. So and there's much research. This was 2001, and this research is dated, but it is so relevant. This was Groundwater Smith Ewing and Lake Como, and they actually said that the fastest growing occupation was STEM related, and that the whole America also had put out there, the US Bureau of Statistics actually, and employment had said that the employment in America was projected at that time, growth in employment was projected to be 7.4% between 2016 and 2026. However, in the STEM related fields, that growth was actually projected to be 10.8% by January 2019. And this is in the STEM related areas. Also in 2009, T.A. Lacey and B. Wright projected that 16 of 20 occupations with the largest projected growth in the next decade, which is actually the decade that we have just left. 2010 to 2019 would be STEM related. And if you do the research all over the world, there is a cry that we need more persons in the STEM fields. And the largest area of that are the occupations that are related to computer and actually information systems. That's about over 45%. And the next largest share are all areas of engineering, about 19%. So you have a country, you cannot actually have sustainability in your country unless you are putting priority on STEM-based and STEAM-based occupations. And that is the reason. It's actually one of the main drivers of economic development globally.
Is robotic part of STEM?
Yes, robotics. Oh,
they love it. I know children from 6 years old, they do love it. They enjoy it so
exactly much. Let me explain the whole, you develop a robotics program and you put, well, not just your underachievers, because I always say you have students who are underachievers. They have no cognitive, most of them, but over 90% of them have no cognitive deficit. They are just disengaged. And what it presents as you know, low academic outcomes. They're disengaged, but if you ask them, how, you know, what are your ideas for this problem, that problem, and the next problem, you have turned the light on. So you get a STEM program, you get a robotics program, and you put some children who are underachievers in that program. And then you integrate all the basic skills in all the other subjects around that robotics program. So you would say, my goodness, you know, we have this, in quotation mark, high flyers. I would never realize that Mark was a high flyer or Sarah was a high flyer. No, because you did not have the wherewithal to turn on their switch.
That's so.
I could tell you because we instituted a coding program, and coding is one of the main languages of innovation. Canada just last year have instituted that coding will start at kindergarten. And I've visited several countries abroad in 5-6 years ago, and they were doing coding actually at preschool, 3 and 4 year old, because they got a jump on it. That is the language, one of the main language of innovation. So I throw the challenge out, start a robotic program. It may, you're going to have a problem with the scheduling because, you know why? The industrial model have these restrictive scheduling models. But do it as a lunchtime club or after school club, and you will actually see those children or students who seem to have been statues in class, they will melt. And then you would say, wow.
That's true. That's true.
Yes.
Dear Karen, before we close, would you like to talk a little bit about your foundation? It's an NGO, I think.
Yes. This is about.
It's about women.
Yes, this is about to be launched. It's called the WIPE movement. It's going to be quite global. It's the Women of Innovation, Power, and Enterprise. Women of Innovation, Power, and Enterprise. It's not launched, it's about to be launched. I do a lot of mentoring of persons, a lot of young persons, a lot of women, basically disenfranchised women or women who just haven't had the support that they need. And this is actually the genesis of this organization. And I would take this out to the world, and whatever funds are raised as a result of this is poured back in advancing and improving the quality of life of these women, in assisting to pay college fees, for example, in assisting in entrepreneurship training, in assisting them with parenting skills. Because if we could get the women with the support that they need, then the generations that they are nurturing, and by extension, the generations yet to be born, see, it's transgenerational. We look at who exists now, but in the future, you have to pay into the future, and this is what this is doing.
Well, that's beautiful. And you have a lot, I mean, you work a lot with young people.
Yes.
What will be your message as a
well, the young people say, oh, you know, young people, they are future leaders. Stop the nonsense. They are leaders right now.
Right now.
Because if you, especially with older persons, you have a problem with your phone, you could have a 4-year-old in your house. You say, how would it work this? So you can't tell me they are not leaders. They all have leadership abilities.
It's true.
Our responsibility to nurture those abilities from birth, to, you know, give them that some decision making and nurture as they're ready. So my advice to young people is simply this: don't let people ever put you in a box. You know, people say, well, you have to break out of the box. No, don't ever let them put you in the box. You don't have to think out of the box. Pulverize the box.
I like that.
Tear it apart, that it can never be reconstituted. That was actually, you were put in to restrict who you are, to restrict your innovation, to restrict your capability. You don't have to think out of the box. You have always been out of the box. Let your imagination take a flight. And as I say to my young people, we used to say, oh, the sky's the limit. No, get that out of your head. The sky is too small for you. Universes yet to be discovered are the limit.
Wow.
That's who you are.
Would you like to repeat this last sentence, please? And we are going to put it down.
Yes. So you go and you grow and make your global footprint big, and keep true to yourself. You are the power of one. And the power of one is simply this: you have what it is within you, not only to be successful in life, to improve your quality in life, but to extend a hand up and a support to make others also get your dream and advance in life. So that's it.
Beautiful. So remember, no box, we just pulverize the box.
Yes,
and the sky is not the limit.
No.
The universe, not yet discovered, is the limit, and even beyond, who knows?
Yes, the universe
all
is
this
yet
quantum
to be discovered.
discovery,
That's right.
quantum physics things, we can navigate everywhere.
Yes.
Thank you so much. We definitely keep in touch.
Yes, thank you for having me.
Really, I have goosebumps. And see you very soon, dear Karen.
Okay, thanks a lot. Okay, take
care.
care, everybody.
Thank you, everybody.
All right. Okay.